All right, welcome to the second installment of Technique Tuesday. This month, our lift is the deadlift. So you're going to see two coaches, Anthony Oliveria and Leila Naghshineh, critique two different female lifters doing a deadlift. So let's get right to it.
Okay, so here's a deadlift critique video. The first thing you'll notice is the weight is just too light to really see major form breakdown. She's able to get away with some pretty big mistakes here that would affect her with a heavier weight. But if you look closely, you can see the bar is significantly too far off her shins because her knees are shooting so far forward. So a way to correct that would be to arch her low back out a little harder. You can see in the bottom of the lift, her butt kind of comes underneath her, which is going to drive her knees forward and her chest down. If she arches her low back hard, she's going to be able to have a more upright chest when approaching the bar, and the bar is going to be able to be closer to her shins. If you figure the end point of a deadlift is the bar against your hips, you want your hips as close to the bar in the beginning of the lift as possible. Okay, here's another deadlift critique video. I think the first problem here is the weight is just simply too light to see any major breakdown. But if you look, the bar is off of her shins the entire time. She's almost doing a stiff leg here. If you see, her knees aren't bending too much. Also, you can't really tell, but it looks like her feet may actually be angled in. This is going to make it really difficult to engage any glutes. So if she actually angles her toes outwards, almost duck-footed, just a touch, she's going to be able to get a little more glute and hamstring development and activation, as well as if she puts a little more weight on the bar, she'll actually be able to drop her hips lower, take the slack out of the bar, and really push through the floor with her feet instead of doing the majority of the lifting with her low back.
Thing I would say about this deadlift is that I would probably have her walk up closer to the bar. Initially, I'd like to see that her shins are almost touching the bar. When I see she probably has 6 to, I don't know, 10 inches of space. Secondly, if you notice, she's more so squatting actually instead of deadlifting. So when I say that, I mean that her hips should hinge back before her knees bend. And right here, I'm seeing more of a squat and pull rather than a deadlift. So something I might suggest is hinge your hips back as if you're reaching for a wall behind yourself and then proceeding to bend your knees rather than bending your knees and hinging your hips at the exact same time. Lastly, I would just say to make sure the neck is always in line with the spine. I'm going to go back here a couple, but on the first few reps, looking at the neck when she pulls, her chin pointing towards the ceiling. You see that a lot when someone's lifting a heavy load, but it's just much better if we can try and keep the spine completely neutral. I really believe in prioritizing the spine and making sure that we keep it safe overall. So besides that, her back, I would probably say the very top of her thoracic spine is rounding a little bit, so possibly tightening the lats a little bit more. Good foot distance in that her stance is not too wide or narrow. So looking at this deadlift, what you'll notice is that her back is coming much farther down than is acceptable in a deadlift or that is safe. This is because when she's doing her hip hinge, she's not following with much of a knee bend. We kind of assessed this, and it was due to she's pretty tight hip flexors. But if she were to stick her butt back a little further, sink down into her glutes, and also bend her knees more, then it would look much better.
Thank you to Anthony and Leila for those deadlift critiques this month. If you guys are interested in contacting either of those coaches, their information will be posted below. Next month, our critique for Technique Tuesday will be over the overhead press. So we're going to choose different variations, or we're going to try to depending on the videos that we receive. But if you're interested in having your lift critiqued, just let me know. You can email me at the email listed, and we'll go from there. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday.